The Arcturians are here with some really incredible messages today about activations and energies that will be coming forward on the planet for us to access. They're also talking about the real meaning of the 144,000, and they're talking about the gravity of the next 2 months that we are going to be moving through and the huge choice point that we are at. So let's dive in and understand what they have to share with us.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light?
I'm so excited to bring through these messages for you today. They feel really potent. For those of you that are new here, I'm Sarah. I'm a channeler, and I channel two groups of beings prominently. The first is a group of angels, and then the second is a group of Arcturian beings, and the Arcturians are who came through today. So I want to dive in and bring through the transmission that they brought through, but I have two announcements before I do that. The first is my friend Karen Glass and I are hosting a retreat in Egypt this November in 2025. It's a 12-day journey of activation into the higher energies. And actually, the Arcturians are going to talk more about that and sacred sites and how we are bringing that energy into New Earth. All of that energy is turning back on this year. So let's go there and activate into that energy and bring it back into our own life and soul mission so that we can use it to create and build out New Earth. So if you're interested in that Egypt retreat, the link is below. We are only taking applications through the month of February, and we are only able to bring about 16 people. So go ahead and get your application in if you are interested. Secondly, I'm hiring. I am looking for someone to work closely with me, a tech-savvy assistant who can help me with a lot of back-end tech work, as well as some customer service support. So if you are interested, you can check the link below as well. This is a part-time position, but it is going to grow with me as my business and what I do grows as well. So go ahead and apply below if you're interested in that, or send it to someone that you may know who may be interested or a fit for the position. Okay, with that said, let us go ahead and just dive into these messages from the Arcturians. It feels like this year, as we already know, is such a potent year, and they're really bringing through some information to help us accelerate into these higher energies. So the Arcturians are here with me today, and they're taking me to a place on the planet that feels to me like maybe the Middle East and even leading into parts of Greece. So neighboring countries of Greece and the Middle East, places where it would be a lot of desert and rock, leading into places where there is rock and sand, but also water. So they're showing me that their ships are landing in these places. But it's having this effect that we cannot see them yet, that people in these places do not see them yet. It feels like there may be a select few that can see these ships or even these beings. They may see flashes, but they know that they are there and communicate with them. So the Arcturians are telling me that there are some of them that are in these places already. There's almost a giggle behind them when they say this, because it's almost like a peekaboo. We're here, but you can't see us. They're telling me that people may go visit some places in these areas. It almost feels like sacred land, or places people would be drawn to in these areas, that maybe live in the area, but also it could be people who are traveling to Greece or places like that to seek out the beauty. It feels as though in these Middle Eastern areas, it is maybe people would have more interest that this energy would be in certain places. It feels like they're telling me a word will carry that there is particular energy in these areas, and people will want to go there and visit. There might be even, they're making me feel like there may even be incidences of quick alien sightings. And they're telling me that people will be here and they won't see anything, but they will absolutely begin to feel things. And by doing this, it's as if people are saying yes to connecting with these Arcturian beings, and they will begin to send them energy and communicate with them telepathically, energetically. And it feels like people will leave having been activated and having awakened to some other level. They will begin to seek out things that seem, mysterious, that are energetic. So they are helping with this process. I'm hearing them saying that it needs to move faster now. We have to come in and move faster, but it feels very fun for these Arcturian beings. They again, there's this like giggle inside their body of hee hee hee, we are helping. You don't see us, but we're here. And they will begin to raise people's consciousness and energetic bodies to their level. It will happen over time. But they're making me feel as if there are souls who have agreed to these Arcturian activations that will be drawn to certain spots on the planet. They're also taking me down to the area of like Machu Picchu in Peru, and it feels like they are also working in those areas in South America. And it feels like they have spots where they have landed there too. I'm also hearing it's not just us, we have friends that are doing the same thing. So it feels like other star races are now landing in certain spots. Ooh, I just got chills all over my body. They are coming back to reactivate these areas on the planet. There are very many as well in the United States. They're saying we have already talked about one that is in the South Pacific part of the United States, near Arizona or New Mexico and along the border. They're making me feel as though there are also some in heading up near the southern coast of California. Um, I'm seeing all these points that they are showing me. They're saying we have ships in these places. You cannot see them yet, they say with a giggle, but we are here. And it is not about it's not about forcing people into this space of seeing them. They do not care if they are seen or not. They are just simply here to add to the energy of this ascension process. They're saying that they are here to help send energy into the planet and reawaken what is already here. It feels like dormant energy that they are reactivating. And there are what we may not have considered sacred sites, are sacred sites or sacred land here along in the US as well. They're also taking me down to Australia and New Zealand, and I'm feeling lands in these areas that are being reactivated. They're saying, we are coming back online. It is so beautiful. Can you feel the energy lifting here on the planet? It's as if these new grid lines are being activated and they are creating their own like Arcturian grid around the planet. Again, they say we have friends though that are doing the same thing. So whether this is the Syrians or the Lyrans or other beings that are higher dimensional coming in to create their own activation as well. They just popped in the energy of the Syrians. It feels like these are monasteries and places of stillness that the Syrians are working with because they are very much meditative, contemplative, and still type beings. Their energy creates a high essence of peace. Whereas the Arcturians are activating something different here. And the energy they activate, they're showing me, goes along these grid lines to reach all parts of the earth. And the way that these certain sacred sites that they are connected to work is that they all are on these grid points that will reach, it's like the same lines on a grid that each of these points are connected to, but then they all connect these other, so it's reactivating the entire planet. When one comes online, it boop sends this energy to elsewhere. Uh, they have had these they're taking me back to Mount Shasta for a minute here because it feels as though this is part of it. The energy there is coming back online. They're telling me it has already been activated, and this is one of their friends, the beings that are in Mount Shasta. Again, it feels like, gosh, 7, 8 foot tall blue beings that are working to reactivate and bring this online. They have been like refurbishing the portals in these places so that they are clean and the energy there can fully come in and be given to people that come to these places to access this energy. So they're saying that very much this year, all these grid points, these sites are coming back online that these star friends that we have that are higher dimensional will be coming to these places to um, reactivate them and bring the energy back on. It's almost as if they're showing me like a huge power switch. Like if you go to a power plant, it's been turned off because it's saving power. Like in the generator has just been gathering power, and now they want to turn the whole building back on. And they're showing me it's slowly lifting. This is what they're doing. They're taking that switch and slowly lifting it so that now the power grids on the planet fully turn back on. These are the power, yes, the power grids is what they are calling them. I'm seeing these lines light up across the planet. They're saying that, they have been working with these places throughout time to continue to clean the energy and make sure it is a pure source of power. And these places now have been, the word I want to say is refurbished. I'm also hearing, I don't know what this means because I don't even know if it's a word, but they're saying re-sanctified. Um, it's as if these sites are, they they have created a power grid and they've been put here during ancient times. So now when if we go to these places, it is a massive activation that takes place. So then we take the power from these places, whether that's in, a mountain that is a pyramid type mountain or a temple of some sort in a mountain in Arizona. You go there and receive that energy and you take it back to maybe Ohio, where you are from, and you are now spreading the power from the grid to other places. So you're even creating new grid lines and access points for other people to help awaken. So you then become the energy of this sacred site and you bring it back to where you are. And then that helps awaken the people in your area. So you become the sacred site. You become the pyramid. You become the castle type rock that you have encountered and the energy there, the vortex, the portal that you have come in contact with. They're saying these places exist, and we may not even realize that they're here. When we hit these places in nature, we leave very high vibrational. We may feel our energy shifting if we go for a hike to these places or a trip or a retreat or whatever. It's as if that energy comes in and refurbishes our own body, and then we have been energetically changed for the better, and we now become these vessels of this energy to carry it out to the rest of the planet. They're saying this switch, this energy switch, could not have been turned on at all at once. It would be so powerful that it would send people into shock. It would cause almost catastrophic energetic occurrences on the planet that it would not be able to be handled. So it has to happen slowly. They're saying this is why you will not see us in the beginning, but you will feel us, you will sense us, you can channel us. But the seeing is almost the shocking point. They're giving me the phrase, seeing is believing, where people almost they don't believe anything until they see it, but they have to work their way up to it. They're saying that humans are such a visual form of believers. And it is now a point that you have to work up to. If they were to see all of this energy and all of us beings, us Arcturians and all of our friends all at once, it would be so shocking to the system. So we have to let it drop in a little at a time, starting with a feeling, going to a knowing, going to a hearing, a clear audience, and then we bring in this final clear of seeing the energy and seeing us. We are becoming accustomed to each other as we raise your energy to being able to handle us, is what they are saying. So everything is being reactivated. I'm asking when this has started, and of course, when I ask, I'm hearing it already has. But it feels like as we get into the springtime, this really gets amped up. I feel like they're in preparation phase over the next couple of months. Okay, so this was really cool. So, what they're talking about on planet Earth is, let me just draw this. There's all of these sacred sites that have been set up on Earth, and we know a lot of them. They're these structures from ancient civilizations. So let's say there's like the pyramids. Then maybe you have something over here like Machu Picchu. I'm just gonna put that for the represent that. There's even different things over here in the U.S., down here in Australia and stuff. There's all these sites, and even the direction that they're facing feels like that has something to do with the grid lines. They kind of made me feel like they're facing that direction because it's like connecting. I don't know what particular direction they're facing in, but let's say if they're facing like northwest, okay, that might mean it's connecting to a site that's over here. So this creates like the grid lines, and maybe this site faces a certain direction that connects over here. So the same beings have created all these sites all over the planet because those are these like grid points where the grid points meet, or these grid lines meet. So these sites are getting activated so they can send energy and have it like circle the globe. So then it's creating this new grid around the globe that's really high dimensional. And they're going to talk about the frequency and the energy of that in just a few minutes here. But that's what these sites are doing. So these beings have been working with these sites and stayed in contact with them, but they almost were built because it was a futuristic thought of, we know what's coming and we're going to build these here to help with this ascension process that will be happening way in the future. So they gave, all these civilizations like the Incas and the Mayans and the Egyptians and whoever else, like, build these things. We're going to help you build them. We need them here on Earth because it was planned to help us in this moment now. So they're turning back on, and then we become a part of this grid system when we go to these places and activate in their energy. And then, let's say you're from London and you go to the pyramids, then you go back to London, and it's like, now I can bring all the energy here, and like, I'm a sacred site myself. So we're putting it into our bodies now and then using that energy to build out new Earth. So they're going to talk a little bit more about this, but I just wanted to kind of explain how this happens. So then it's like all the grids start getting, created and reactivated, and you see all these lines. And the Arcturians aren't the only ones who are doing it. There are also other beings like that we probably don't even know of, or that we are familiar with, that have also helped create some of these grid lines too with their particular sacred sites. It feels like there's huge energetic clearing that's coming in February and March. It is this steadfastness, they are saying, and we have to get through this point. It's almost as if the star beings are in this waiting phase of, we're waiting for people to make the choice of, am I going to become this higher activated being, or am I going to stay in the fear, the dark, and keep playing in it for a little longer? So it's almost as if the beings that they have, the beings as in the humans that these higher dimensional beings have agreed to work with, they're waiting for them to make the choice. Is it now, or shall you wait for a later time? And when that choice happens over the next couple of months, I am choosing the higher dimensional energies. I am choosing to step into my truth and my access beyond this earthly plane. Then these beings, the Arcturians especially, since they are here with me now, then they can spring into action and start calling forward people to certain places. It feels like there are certain um, sacred points on the earth. These are energy spots that particular people are drawn to. So again, some people may be drawn to the Mayan pyramids in Mexico and El Salvador. They may be drawn to again, Machu Picchu or something in Peru. They may be drawn to Stonehenge. They may be drawn to sacred sites in India. And it could be several for different people, but it feels like there will be periods of time where you will be drawn to certain areas to go reactivate into those energies and spread them to the earth. So each soul has a particular uh, desire or drawing towards certain energies. I have heard of this, but they're bringing forward something called cathedral rock. This feels important. Is this in the US? I feel like it's lower US. Maybe this is Arizona. But I kind of feel like they are in this place as well. Um, Speaking as Sarah, I'm like, I'm gonna have to look this up. But it looks like a rock that's kind of flat, but it's tall. It has like these tall, separate kind of mountainous pillars, I would say. Um, there's there's a rock that has been formed in parts of the US that are not how would I say this? I wouldn't say not natural, but they have been formed by energy and I would say extraterrestrial help. So they've been formed in a certain way. It's almost like sacred sites hiding in plain sight. So they haven't like gone all out like they have with, the Sphinx or the pyramids or temples or things like that. It's almost like it's these sites in the US are higher dimensional activating sites hiding in plain sight, like Mount Shasta or some of these plateau vortex type rock in the Pacific Southwest. I can feel the energy shifting here. So they wanted to bring this through about this activation. So they're telling me that they have been devising a plan of how this will happen and how this will come on board. They're showing me it feels like these underground bases again in the earth that they have been going to. They're saying these underground bases have been made. And they will go into these bases. It feels like do some work down here. There's technology in them. And it feels like then they will go back up to where they're from. Then they may work on the surface of the earth. And then they will go in the bases so they can work with the inner layers of the earth and activate her. So they have these machines or technology in these bases. Not a lot, but there are certain machines down there that help them carve out these tunnels or this rock underneath the planet. They're also showing me that they particularly pick places that they can have water running through. Um, but there is this particular machine that they're saying reads the energy or the frequency of not only the earth, but where humanity is at and the particular humans that they have been assigned to work with. And they have been reading the energy. It's like a barometer uh, to see where we are at, because this tells them how far they can go with their own plan of bringing these energies back online and how much they can kind of push their presence. Uh, it is a certain frequency that we need to be at. Ah, I think that this is the frequency of 144. They're saying that I'm seeing like a number 200 something for them. But in order to, they're also showing me the 144, where it is, again, this is the frequency that we need to get to to be able to enter into this higher space, this higher dimensional realm. So it is not about 144,000 of us. It is 144,000 like watts or it's a frequency, like a sound frequency. It is an energy that we are getting to, and they are measuring uh, that frequency on the planet. Have we gotten to that point? And I'm hearing yes. And now it's making sure that we are able to maintain that frequency. I'm just asking why this frequency? What does it mean? Because they're also flashing me like a 200,000 type frequency as well. They're also saying the 144 has something to do with a lot of these sacred sites. So even pulling me down to the pyramids, and it feels like there's almost that's the frequency that a lot of these sites are at. So they will help as they come online, building us to the frequency of 144,000. They're saying that this is the frequency of higher ascension. It is when we reach this point, it is the point of, I don't want to say no return, but it is the point of no return where we have now entered into this higher echelon of our consciousness, but also physical state and the energy that we carry. Once we reach this point, it is much easier to go up into and understand the higher dimensions and acclimate to it. They're telling me that they reside at I want to say a 218,000 frequency, that is theirs, and they're helping to bring us up to their level. And it doesn't have to be equal, but it needs to be enough of a point to get to. They're making me feel like the inner earth, which we would probably call true earth or new earth, is 218,000 in frequency. This energy feels so much more peaceful and solid in itself. It's not this buzzing energy. It is knowing and calm. I feel like the 144, it's like light body activation. We're bringing it into physical form, the light body. It feels like my body is very much buzzing and all this light coming in. It's the energy or the frequency we get to acclimate to the higher planes, they're saying. So we don't stay there. It's what we need to get to. And once we adjust to it, then we fall into more of this higher frequency, which feels more calm and integrated. And that is the energy of New Earth. So the 144 is the frequency of the ascension point. They're saying just like the solar flash, it is the frequency of that 144,000. All of that energy coming in, it is the, how do I say this? The admission point into this next level. And you stay there to acclimate to it. The activation of these sacred sites will actually help us integrate into this energy more and raise our frequency to a point where we are more comfortable in this state. They're reminding me of if you've ever channeled or meditated or done deep ceremony and you're highly activated after and your body needs to calm down. They're saying you will be in this highly activated state, but you will also be calm. And that's what we are getting to. We're crossing the threshold once we reach this 144 into the 200,000 frequency where it feels more calm and integrated. The 144 is the invitation. They're showing me it's this circle of light. It is us stepping into the receiving of our full light. And then we move forward from there where it's an activation. We no longer need the activation. We become it and we move into more of these calmer states of frequency. They're saying the frequency that we go to is similar to that of rock or stone, which might sound crazy because it may not have a huge vibration. But if you think about crystals, they are rock, they are stone. And they are a lot of these bricks or stones that you see in sacred sites have all these sprinklings of different types of maybe quartz or other gemstones in them that are bringing through this higher energy. Rock is solid, as we all know, but also energetically, it is solid in itself. It is a calm energy. That is why these beings love to be in the Arcturians. They're saying they always land in rock or this inner earth stuff too. It's associated with rock. And the rock works really well with water. So it activates, it shares its energy with water, and water carries that. But the light gets carried from the water into the rock. The light can also soak into the rock and activate it. Um, Rock holds great memory, it holds great power, and it is extremely activating and extremely powerful combined with water. So we are becoming like this rock or this gemstone. And if you think about crystals, they are cleansed and reactivated using clean, pure water, or they are activated and cleaned by the sun if you sit them in the sun. It is the same thing with this type of rock and water. They interact with each other to create high activation and energy and renewal. So it is no wonder that these sites have been built in a particular way. They keep bringing me back to, again, I feel and hear in my head the 144 about these sacred sites. They're making me feel as though there are 144, want to say thousand sites around the world that hold all of this energy. So this number, and whether these are sites or particular um, structures. So there might be multiple sites in one structures in one place that are included in the 144, but this has something to do with it. They're saying that these sites around the world create the frequency of initiation into the higher planes. So it almost is as if they, when they get turned back on, they become this worldwide portal. But people have to acclimate to this energy, just like the Arcturians were saying when they came through in the beginning. You can't see me yet, but I can see you. It's almost as if this energy can sense us and it's here for us to access, but we have to choose and get to that point first. So more and more people may be drawn to visiting a lot of these sacred sites because of the activation, the energy, and the invitation that is there for you and for them. And they're making me feel as though there is possibility in these places for extraterrestrial contact and meeting. I guess they're saying those who are ready may see us. So they're also bringing my attention back to there are sites we do not know about because they seem more like natural formations, but they are not necessarily natural. They have been formed by energy from the ETs. And this is where they will often visit, or this is their portal to the inner earth so that they can go in and test the frequencies here. So if you are guided to go to a certain mountain or point on a trailhead or a certain just normal site somewhere in your country, but you feel it possesses high energy, for instance, Mount Shasta or these rock formations in the desert in Utah or Arizona, it's because these have been crafted and created in a specific way through energy, higher energy, and they are sacred sites that we do not know about. Um, some are more prominent and known because they were utilized by civilizations, but others have just simply been created by these higher dimensional beings, and maybe only a few people have accessed them or gotten to know them and know that they exist, but they will become more and more known. So they are bringing this forward, and They're saying we need you to know the high activation that is coming forward this year. These next 2 months are crucial. You are choosing where you want to be and where you want to go. You are choosing the activation through what you focus on, what you bring your attention to, how you believe in yourself, the development that you are going through personally, emotionally, spiritually. If you are focusing in this direction of, I am ready to move to this circle of light, this frequency of the 144,000, I am ready to step into that and experience it and receive the activation that is coming and the connection with these higher beings. I choose this. I say yes. You are giving us agreement and affirmation through how you proceed in the next couple of months. It feels like there will be a lot of, I don't want to use the word tests, but it feels like darker, enticing energy that wants to come forward to have you make a different choice. And you can choose to let that chaos or that intensity happen and continuously choose your power. This is not about things will always be easy. It's things are easy because I am always in my power. And when I choose to sink into that I have no support, I cannot handle this on my own, that I am a victim, that I am angry at everything happening, it is about, can I let be what will be? Can I let be what is and know that I am heading to a higher place and that I am bringing my attention and my focus towards this higher activation that is coming in? I accept. And you procure this acceptance through your action and behavior in the next coming months. This is not to alarm you. It is to let you know that we are now choosing ourselves and our truth and our safety, that no matter what happens, everything will be okay and everything is unfolding as it should to create a higher change and transition for everyone. And while others may not be in this space that you are in and making the choice that you are making, it is okay. You still make the choice that is best for you. We are exercising an energy of strength in our choice and a knowingness of where we are heading in these next couple of months. And you will notice that it gets easier and easier the more you make those hard choices for yourself and choose not to focus on what is happening in the world that seems devastating and feeling that we have to, the word I want to use is sacrifice our choice to refocus on this lower plane. Everything will unfold as it needs to. Everyone will find the resources that they need. And sometimes this chaos and this stirring that happens is forcing them to look into a different direction. As humans, we have this poor behavior of clinging on to what is. Everything needs to stay the same. It needs to be this way. And we get into this fight mode where we will fight to keep it this way. And if anyone tries to change it, they become my enemy. The dark loves this. They feed off of it. Realize that when you can surrender and let go, let other people be stuck in those places with everything that may or may not be happening, that is the experience that they are choosing to have. What is the experience that you choose to have in the midst of all of this is happening? That is happening. Remember, everything is perfect and happening as it should, and it is presenting you with a choice of how you move forward within yourself and your own actions. We are waiting here for the choices to be made by all of you. If you need help, you can call upon us. Call us in. Those of us that work with Sarah, we call ourselves the ambassadors. We are ambassador beings that bring through information, energy, and activation to help all of you during this ascension process. Call us in. We are happy to comfort and inform you about how to continuously step through and make the higher choice for yourself to refocus. We would love to surround you with our energy and help you feel the true essence of what is possible and of who you are. This is a collective process, and we are part of this collective with you. Just because it is not, we are not earthly beings, we are still universal beings, and it is a universal collective process that we are going through. So please do not take that for granted or not take advantage of us being here. We would love to help you and bring you back into the energy of this centeredness and the higher planes that are available for you. Go out in nature, no matter the weather. Nature is going to help you get back into that centered place. Go feel the sunshine on your body and know that the light you are receiving from that sun is information, and it will bring you back into who you are. Ask that sun to show you your truth in this moment. That even the chaos that is happening for people is for their highest good, so they can come back and reroute into their truth. Everything is happening as it should, based on what you are choosing. So we leave you with this. What do you choose? And we hope to see you on the other side, in these glorious places of activation that are welcomed and available to you coming this year. Thank you so much for being here, and we can't wait to work with you and integrate this higher energy as we become friends and neighbors and colleagues and cohorts in this process and ascension together. Thank you, and we are here should you need. The Arcturians. So pretty powerful stuff there. Not too much that I felt needed extra explanation or my interruption. I just wanted to let the transmission and the channeling flow. But we have a lot of energy that will be available to us this year, should we choose it. So we're stepping into this warrior phase of setting these boundaries for ourselves and these parameters to really have on these blinders, focusing on the intention of where we want to go. They were also saying that in the future, we will more so recognize each other based off of our frequency. You know how our names have a sound to it? It's a certain frequency that our names carry. It's like we'll recognize each other through the energy. We already do this, but it's like we might even hear a sound of the energy of each other, and we'll be like, oh, it's or something. But then that frequency that your energy sounds like will develop like a name for you and what you're called. But it feels like we're going to start feeling and sensing more of each other, as opposed to being like, hi, I'm Bob. So that felt really cool. A lot of exciting stuff here, and interesting and informative information about the 144,000. And we're stepping into this frequency and becoming that frequency as we move into this ascension process. So again, if you all are wanting to join Karen and I in Egypt this November, please check out the application below, and we will get back to you once we have collected those. We can only take about 16 people, so get your application in. And if you are interested in working with me and have those tech and customer service skills, please check out the application below for that as well. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you next time.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming?